speaking? Who here has feelings? Who here in the past has had feelings of public speaking that aren't the best?
Well, no. It's not a natural process.
Is that true? This is not a natural process. Is that true?
Getting up in front of people speaking is not a natural process.
Is that true?
Probably natural or unnatural.
Is that true?
No, it's not natural or unnatural.
Depends on.
It's a belief.
It's belief.
It's a belief. The most important thing to recognize,
That's-
if you get nothing out of this hour, recognize beliefs. Because there's only two things about a belief that's important. What's that?
It's not true.
What's important about a belief? What's the only thing that you have to know about a belief?
You change it.
It is?
Yeah. What's the only thing you need to know about a belief?
It is.
It's not yes.
Yes or no?
Okay. The answer is, I don't know how smart that is. Doesn't matter. You have a 2-year-old son, he picks up stuff from the floor, you learn to model that. Okay, my stomach is going to kill whatever it needs and recognize the other stuff and build up antibodies and I'll be fine. Exactly, I'll be better.
But that may be a belief.
It is a belief.
And
So,
it serves
the only thing important about a belief is, forget about testing if it's true. That is a rabbit hole that you will never come out of. Another belief. But it is important whether or not it's useful. Because if I say getting in front of a group of people is not natural, we can argue back and forth whether or not it's true. But is that a useful belief? What if I could suddenly create a belief in my mind that standing in front of a room of people is the absolute most natural, normal thing any human could ever do? It is like being born. It is like having coffee in the morning, for those of you that have coffee. It is like seeing the sunshine on a beautiful day. If that was my belief about public speaking, I'd be me. But you can have...
You want to go out and do it.
Right.
You want it.
And I'm here doing it because I love it. You know, I love sharing this with you guys. I mean, we're all a family, like Dr. Hart said. You know, you wake up and here's your family. It's true. We are a family, and we can stay a family for as long as we want. So that's why I'm sharing with you. I mean, you're not a bunch of random people I never met. So I said, wow, you know, this is something I could do to give back to the group. They gave me love and caring, and we all shared that together. And now I can give back. But if I didn't want to do this, if I didn't love doing this, I'd be, you know, in my room or in the pool or doing whatever, talking to people I haven't seen in a while. So why am I doing this? Because the feeling of sharing and connecting is important to me. And to me, it does feel natural. It feels totally natural. So did it always feel natural? No. You know, I could, the first time I taught a class, I sat in the back, waiting to get introduced, thinking, what the hell am I going to do next? What am I going to do once I stand in front of this group of people? What's going to happen? I've never taught a class before. And it was a very intensive 2-week technology class. And I had been through the materials, and I'd say at least 20%, I had no idea how to teach it because I didn't understand it completely. I kind of knew how to use it a little bit, but I didn't understand it. So Tony was talking about, well, how do I teach this stuff if I don't know it? And, you know, of course, you know, Dr. Hart's here, he's doing his thing, and he's got to get through this program, so I didn't want to interrupt everybody. But now I can share with you, because this is a very important thing. When I was teaching this really complicated thing about how a computer uses memory and how to configure it so it's as fast as it could possibly be, I didn't understand it. I had asked people in the past to explain it, and I still didn't understand it. And a lot of them didn't understand it. So I stood in front of the room, got to that page, and decided on a different belief. I decided this is going to happen. And mentally, it felt like I was in the back of the room, and these examples started coming out, and all these metaphors started coming out, and I had people at the end of that class come to me and say, no, Gene, I've been doing this, and people come to me as a resource. I've been doing this for years, and I never got it. Now I really understand it. Thank you, boy. Did you write these programs in the computer that do this stuff? Is that how you know it so well? And I was like, well, you know, I just learned it too. I didn't say that, you know, because you have to be in front of everybody as the guru. But I allowed myself to be the guru. So, how would it be for all of you to stand in front of a group of people and allow yourself to love it? Because there are things you all love, right? So, who do you think is the most afraid of public speaking?
Those who believe they
No. Are you in this class the most reluctant to publicly speak?
me.
Oh, come on. You're from Beijing. Doesn't count. You can borrow that energy from Beijing. They're very proud, very clear people. Very clear.
See, when she took the picture, she did very well.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
very loudly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
just
can
like
borrow
that.
that anytime you want.
Chinese is better for English.
But you
Okay,
are
you can
teaching
help me
Chinese.
with something. You can help me with something. There's a saying in Chinese. It's the bird that puts his head up gets shot at. Something like that, right? How does that go?
枪打出头鸟
Slower.
Yeah. 枪打出头鸟
Thank you. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the bird that sticks
But
his head up.
Taiwan and they say
Taiwan
differently.
different.
You Taiwan will say, if you like a nail, you go up, people hammer.
Okay, so that's another example.
Same thing.
Programming against stepping up. Why? Because in China there's a lot of people. What if they all think that they're from the United States and they want to step forward? I mean, we are a bunch of people stepping forward, right? That's what we're being trained to do from a young age. Step forward, step forward, step forward, go up, 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 right? But in Chinese culture, it's much older than our culture. Our culture is a couple hundred years old. Chinese culture is thousands of years old.
3,500.
Do you know they had a printing press something like 2,000 years before Gutenberg? Sorry, Gutenberg. 2,000 years before.
They just didn't tell anybody?
Well,
是就是。
you know, there's mountains, there were some routes. And there was very limited communication until Marco Polo came along.
Oh, they still wrote scrolls and stuff, so.
But they had a rudimentary printing press. They had stuff, so many, people, there's some very religious people who believe the earth is 6,000 years old. Don't tell the Chinese that. Because they have a written history that in some ways goes back to 10,000 years. Okay? 10,000. Oh, well, those stones aren't really recorded. Yes, but they have stuff in the middle. It sticks it out.
We know that. Just
Yeah.
a foreign country like a Chinese medicine already a couple thousand. Western, I always say when on the ship I do cruise, I do seminar. I say we have couple thousand years. Western need approval. What happened is the ancient time right on the bamboo, right on the stone, right on the turtle shower, they are easy lost. And the bamboo they are easy lost, burn, killed, so they don't count it. So we just 2,000, 3,000 by
Right.
Western.
But there was
Because
writing
no proof. You
before
need
that.
proof.
We can't prove,
Yeah.
but it's strongly indicated that for the stuff that we do have preserved from those days, it's not just developed 2 days ago. It's
Yeah.
clear that it was already, hundreds or thousands of years old at the time. So, going forward, the point is that, okay, so we're standing in front of a group of people. So what is important in terms of our bodies, in terms of our beliefs? What's important to choose? In front of a group of people. I was getting off on the Chinese thing, but there's an energy in Chinese people when they need to. They have no problem getting in front of groups of people. Some do, but there's if they allow their chi flowing,
Confident.
it pushes all that fear away and they do what they have to do. We sometimes get stuck in our belief systems and we baby ourselves a lot more, okay? Other cultures, like Asian cultures and much older cultures, they've gotten over that. You know, they're mentally more advanced and we could borrow that energy. We don't have to sit here and be who we are. We could take a step forward and be more.
Yeah, from my business, and for hundreds of
Excuse me, Dan, I got
I mingle with them in the audience.
you
I
bamboozled.
will definitely pray to get up on that stage every single show while I'm out there anticipating this and what's going to happen next, and I got to get up on the show pretty darn soon, and this and that. And they'll come up and say, "Are you ready?" And I go, "Let's do it." It's a completely
There's a
different
switch.
person. There's a switch.
Yeah.
It kicks on, it kicks off.
Sharon, could you do me a big favor to close the door? So let me ask you a question. Is the time before that, is that useful for you? Is that okay?
Well, it's useful in the sense that I know that all this is there and I know it's all happening and I have things running through my head and I have my show all scripted out and it's just kind of this wasteland area. Okay, but if it wasn't there, then, I don't know, it is there.
Yeah.
And I accept that.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what's gonna happen. I'm
What if-
walking in and
what if
you know,
somebody
so I
said-
stay busy.
Yeah, what if somebody said, you know, okay, somebody famous, you know, at the NGH couldn't make it and we've heard you do this type of work. Could you step in
Yes.
front of everyone and
Yes.
do it? Right, so
No,
he
but at that point, when they asked me,
you'd be nervous.
I'd be nervous. My heart's already, can I do this? Can I not do this? I don't know. I'm into this and that. I would say yes because I'm not a no person.
Right.
Okay, I would say yeah, I can do that. I'd
And
be a
then
little
you
worried
have
about
the-
it, get a little bit worried about it. I'd walk in, I'd
How
flip
about
the
you guys?
switch, and I'd get up on stage and say, let's do it.
Right here.
Let's
me
do
on-
it.
That's me on Sunday.
Yeah, there it is.
Do it right now.
Yeah, there
I
it
mean,
is.
previous.
Yeah, I
There's that moment where, and you know what? You know that an hour later it's gonna be over,
It's gonna be over.
and you're not gonna.
Yeah, and you just take yourself, put yourself in a different character, and go out there. And that's,
Okay.
that I teach all my students.
So
But I want more.
right.
Oh, yeah.
So what Joe's saying is that he has a suit, you know, like a bodysuit that he puts on, and that body has no problem doing it. But he has some of that stress, that discomfort before that. Now,
But
I
I think it's
wouldn't-
beneficial,
right,
because it gets me into that.
right, let me finish. I wouldn't say that's necessarily a bad thing, because I allow and enjoy a little bit of that butterflies in the stomach before I step in front of a group of people and say something, because it gets me on my toes a little bit. And if it's a really big thing, you know, I might say, wow, you know, I'm not sure I'm really ready to do this. That part of me will say that, okay? So here's a couple of good steps. One thing is, let me ask you a question. Just before you put on the power suit, let's call it the power suit. Before you put on the power suit, and you're thinking, oh my God, in 2 hours I have to give this talk and there's gonna be 500 people there.
It's not there that far ahead of time. You know, I mean, I could be driving there, and, you know, I'm just gonna do another show.
Okay,
It's
so
not a big deal.
when it is there,
When it is
whenever that
there,
is,
right.
okay, in your mind, when you're thinking about standing, because you're not there yet, when you're thinking about standing in front of people, how big are the people in your mind?
They're normal sizes.
Normal
It's
size.
not the bigger or
Okay,
smaller.
how big are you?
I'm just same size average. I mean,
Okay,
I'm not any
average
bigger or
size.
smaller.
How about you?
but-
You ever get butterflies?
Yeah.
Okay. When you're thinking of doing the public
Well,
speaking,
the
I
bigger
want
the
you,
better.
the people are bigger than they have to be, right? How about you, Sharon? When you're thinking of getting up in front of a group of people, are people normal size or are they big? Okay. Smaller, okay, interesting.
That's interesting.
So if it's useful, here's something that I usually teach in my public speaking class. Imagine yourself getting bigger, 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 and being at least 40 feet tall. 40 feet tall. And you're looking at everybody who shrunk down to something like 3 feet tall. And they're safe, you're safe, they're safe, everybody's safe, everything's cool. And you could just go to them and kind of like hold them in your hand and say, I'm going to give you information. It's stuff that you need to know. So I'm going to hold you all in my hand. You're so cute, you're so adorable, you know, like little people. And I'm going to give you some gifts today. All you little people, I'm going to give you gifts. I'm going to give you gifts. I'm going to give you gifts. All you little people are going to go home so happy, little people. Right? Shaoran? Is that right? Shaoran? Small
You
people?
don't say Xiaoren.
Okay, whatever.
Xiaoren is a bad guy.
Bad guy. Bad people. No. They're not bad people. They're Henry. Whatever. Forget it. Okay. I don't speak Chinese. Here's the point.
We're starting to learn that.
Here's the point.
If
Starting
you say you are Xiaoren,
in the beginning.
I'm sure
In the
they'll pick you up.
beginning. In the beginning I said I don't speak Chinese. Or Mandarin. So, a very useful technique for some people, and you adjust it as it feels better, is to change the size of the people. For most people, making the individuals, not the audience, okay? Because the audience is one big thing. Make the individuals in the audience beforehand and during like really small little people that you love and will care for and give them gifts. And you hold them in your hand. Okay, I want you to all do this for a second. I want you to feel those little people in your hand. And as you're talking to them, do you feel any anxiety whatsoever? Even if there was 50 people in your hand, would you feel any anxiety talking to them?
Well,
Yes,
it's all Gulliver's Travel.
Gulliver's Travel. Yeah. So if you then kind of went like this, and let all those people be sitting in all the chairs, way down there, way out there, how would that feel for you? Different from today? Better or worse?
Sure.
A little bit, okay.
I noticed that while you were speaking before, sometimes you would go like that. When you do that, when you're up there, is that just making your point, or are you subconsciously making the people little?
No, not consciously. It's not a tool I need.
Okay.
I don't consciously make people smaller.
Usually,
You know,
in their stage, you
Putting something in my hand
definitely
gives me control of it, so if I'm explaining something, I might, show you that I have control of this, and then you could model me to have control of the thing that I'm talking about.
Okay.
You could subconsciously borrow the action of doing this mentally inside your body to say, I have control of this. Okay? So this is something that you could use, and since we're all in rapport and we're all connected, you say, okay, I have this in my hand. I have control of it. It is now a power that I have. Okay? Gene showed me, now it's my power, now I can share it with others. Okay? So this thing here, I just came up with the idea of putting them in my hand. I never thought of that before. Okay, usually I make them, I tell people to make them smaller in the audience and make yourself really, really big. I was doing some training, there was this thing called Catwalk for Celiac. You know, celiac is? Yeah. It's a problem where your body gets angry at your food, and the food gets angry at the body, and then everything's a mess. So you can't eat gluten. The body gets angry at gluten gets angry at your body reacts to it, big mess. So, are you leaving? No, it's okay. Huh?
There's a meeting I have to go to at 5:30, I believe.
Okay, yeah, probably.
What time do you leave?
Less than an hour.
6:30,
6:30, so we got to be there probably by quarter after.
Yeah,
So
we're-
6:30 or 7?
We're done with public speaking almost anyway. Okay,
It was great.
all right. Thanks for sharing with us. So, so that's not something that I've done on purpose, but I was talking about the celiac thing. I was Catwalk for Celiac was basically a fashion show to benefit sufferers of celiac, to try to get them their own summer program. Because you can't go to summer camp if you're a kid with celiac, your body would explode, essentially. So you're kind of cut off from other people, which is really a shame. So this would be for people that have that problem. They could go and not worry about, did I use the wrong toothpaste? Did I use the wrong this or that? Everything would be friendly to their bodies. And people that don't have a problem probably benefit anyway. So the girls, I mean, some of them were like 8 or 9 years old. Some of them were up to 16 years old. They were all fairly young. And they were going to be doing this fashion show, for dresses and things like that. So I was telling them the same thing. I said, feel this energy in your body getting really big, and feel yourself growing tall, and notice everybody else out there. So then the coaches after that would all use that, and they said it was like night and day. Because these little girls who are walking out there, I mean, they're 8 or 9, and they're wearing these dresses, and they're walking in front of all these people staring at them. Because you don't have anything around you. You just have this little dress on. And you're walking, and there's people gawking at you, not just paying attention to your knowledge, but they're gawking at you, and they're gawking at your clothes. So that's kind of frightening, especially for a little girl. But they're all in, they're doing beauty contests, etc., right? So they're a little bit used to it, but they're still not comfortable. So I said, notice how small everyone is, and notice how you're 40 feet tall. And now they could be present because there's no danger anymore. They're 40 feet tall. There's nothing around them that's dangerous if you're 40 feet tall. Another very, very interesting thing that you can do is imagine that your energy, when you're transmitting information, that your energy is this huge radio tower. Okay?
The Chinese, they have meditation, right? It's you imagine yourself like connect the universal. You're really big. Yeah, just for your
Right.
comfort. Yeah.
So by changing the picture of yourself in your mind,
Yeah.
the amygdala, Amy, the person looking for pattern matching, is seeing you really, really big, and everybody else really, really small. And she says there's no danger. I'm going to leave control with your thinking brain. It's okay. It's safe. Go right ahead and have fun. Enjoy the experience. And then by putting yourself into a giving mode, where you're sharing your energy, you're sharing your gifts with people, and they're sharing back, now you're not only talking in front of other people, but you're sharing. And you're thankful to them, they're thankful to you, and you start having this really deep connection with people. And this goes back to the rapport. You're developing a very powerful rapport with your audience, with your clients, with your students, etc. And by doing that, you start getting beyond what's possible for just using words. You start to connect to people on a fundamental level. And if you believe in energy and God and spirit, whatever it is you believe, some of that starts happening. And all of a sudden barriers just disappear. And people are taking so much knowledge with them in their hearts when they leave, and they say, wow, that was amazing. How did that happen? So, I call it installing brain apps. Like when you have one of these little toys and you put an app, and that one app does something really, really well, and it's very easy to use. So I install brain apps in people's minds and bodies. So you can just now do this thing. So, when you use all these tools and you get up in front of a group of people, it's just easy. Okay? You can use as much of that nervousness, that little butterfly tickle, to get yourself on your toes, to get all the knowledge ready in your mind and ready to present, and then use as much as you need and no more. Touch it. Okay? So how are we doing with public speaking? Are we good? Because that's probably not too good. So do you all feel better about standing in front of a group? How about you, Sharon?
Yes.
That's congruence. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Did you hear that? That's congruence. That's the most congruent thing I've heard from you this entire week. Right? Yes or no?
That is, I agree.
Yes.
It's like, wow, it's like she's switched on now.
Yeah.
So, 20 minutes. That's all it takes. You don't have to do 20 sessions with somebody to cure them of public speaking. You have to use some very, very powerful tools and model those tools and feel the love and make the connection go back and forth. Because what we're sharing is not just what I'm telling you. It's not just a movement of my body. There's a lot more going on. And your brain is saying, oh, that's something I can do. It's not something you could learn from saying, like ping pong. You know, you can't say, well, there's this muscle, this muscle, this muscle, this muscle. Forget it. But you watch it done, and then you start to be fluid. So your mind is allowing it to be fluid from you in the future. So if in the future you see yourself in front of a group of people, how does that feel?
Good.
Okay.